Okay, so this is the last set of conversion notes for the video notes here before we start practicing in class together. So conversions with 2 units, the reason why I broke this up a little bit into its own notes section is this takes a little bit longer to explain here, and it's just important that we understand how to do this because T-charts aren't just something that's set in stone. T-charts are very flexible, and we can actually create and use a lot of what are called derived units, and we'll learn about that with our density section here in this unit. But when we use T-charts and we use things like miles per hour, meters per second, for example, in this problem, we can actually use the top and the bottom part of the T-chart in order to create this problem. And so, again, I know I'm starting with miles per hour, and I want to end with meters per second. So I'm going to start with my miles per hour, and I'm going to put 20 miles, and I'm going to put it over 1 hour, because this line right here means divide. We always divide at the end, so 20 miles per 1 hour is why we set it up as that 2-part T-chart, if you will, in this problem. And so what we don't want to have happen is put the miles per hour and have it all be up here and have the bottom part of this box be blank, because there's no way you'd ever cross anything out there. So what I'm going to do is start by working on crossing out my miles first, and you can start with hours, that's okay, but I'm just going to choose to start with miles. So I'm going to put my mile unit on the bottom, again always making sure that my units are going to match up here, and I'm always going to put my units in before I put my numbers in. I'm going to ask myself, can I go from miles to kilometers? Yes, you can. You can go from miles to kilometers. You have that conversion sheet unit on your sheet there. So I know that 1 mile equals 1.61 kilometers. So I'm going to cross out my miles, and I'm going to identify that I'm not done yet because the kilometers right here is not in the meters. So I want to be in meters, but I'm still in kilometers. So I would need to take my T-chart one step further. I would need to go kilometers on the bottom here so that these two things could cross out. Then I would ask myself, can I go from kilometers to meters? Yes, you can. You can go from kilometers to meters. You know that 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. So then you're going to cross that out, and your meters part is done. But right now you're still left in meters per hour because you haven't done anything with hours. So now what we want to do is cross out the hours. So because the hours unit is on the bottom, I'm going to actually place the hour section up here so that I can cross it out. So I want to put my unit for hour up here so that I can cross it out. Everything that's kitty corner can be crossed out. So I'm going to ask myself, can I go from hours to seconds? Not that easily, so I'm going to go to minutes, and I know that 1 hour is 60 minutes. And then I'm going to keep going because I'm not done yet, and I know that minutes can go to seconds, and that 1 minute is 60 seconds. So it's really important here that you see that the only 2 units that are left right here are minutes and seconds, which is why I'm done, and my unit is now minutes per second. So when I'm actually recording this and reporting this value, it would be in meters per second. So then what you want to do, make sure that you multiply everything that's across first and then divide both values. Once you do that, you should get the correct answer. So when you do that, you'll get 8.9 meters per second. So go ahead and practice these 2 things. So hit pause on your computer here, hit pause, practice these 2 things, and then go ahead and come back to the video because then you'll hear my explanation on how to do these. So hopefully you hit pause and you know how to set up a 2-part T-chart with 2 units, a 2-unit T-chart. So hopefully you set up the 25 miles over 1 gallon, and you know that miles go on the bottom, and you know you can go to kilometers, and you put your numbers in there, 1 to 1.61. And you look back at your problem and you know that kilometers is what you're supposed to end with when you cross it out, so you're done with the top part of the T-chart. And now you need to work on the gallons part crossing out, so you're going to put gallons on the top, just like you put hours on the top in the last practice problem. You're going to put gallons on the top, and you look at your conversion sheet that we gave you at the beginning of the unit, and you're going to know that gallons and liters actually do have a conversion, and 1 gallon is 38 liters. You're going to look at your problem and know that you're done with your units there. You're going to multiply everything across and then divide, and then you're going to get 10.6 kilometers per liter. So hopefully you did that problem right. If not, hopefully you can come with some good questions to class when we're practicing these together. So the next problem is 10 kilograms per liter. So you should put kilograms on the bottom. You want to go to grams. You know you have that conversion unit. We've done it a few times here. And then you also have that conversion unit of liters to milliliters. And this is an interesting problem because if you notice here, you're essentially changing the same base 10 units in terms of grams to kilograms and liters to milliliters. And so because of that, and because you're working with the metric system in the base 10 unit, it actually ends up being the same answer because it's essentially the same ratio of values there. So you get 10 grams per mil, which is pretty interesting. Okay, so that's all for our conversion notes. Hopefully you have some good questions ready and you're ready to come practice in class the next day. Thanks.